I'm always looking for ways to practice, and I have this little device I made here I can practice with. It's just it's from the bottom of a chair I took off, and I just put it between my couch here. Has a spring and a ball, and now I can practice, my backhand or my forehand, depending on which hand arm I want to use, or hands. I can practice both ambidextrous, but the idea is I can practice, hitting the ball. I also have this wheel here, a wheel, and you saw from the bottom of the chair, and I put a wheel from a golf cart on there, and also it just rotates, so I can practice something like a flashlight. If you talk about Balotelli, he's always talking about the flashlight. Him and Daughtry talk about the flashlight, pointing the flashlight. Some talk about pointing the elbow as you hit, and so you can practice lag, or I guess what's called lag, or you can practice that racket going backwards on this side of the body, and then I can practice hitting the ball here. And so it's a great way of practicing. I'm hoping that you can see it and explain it well. It's just a great way of refining your strokes and defining them, sharpening them, making them smoother, getting your rhythm. And so it's a great way of practicing. And so now I can just go through the ball. You get Topson Pro, you always have to spin up, and that's good. But sometimes we hit through the ball, and so it's both and. And sometimes we go across our body, or we go across like Wagner says. But sometimes when we go to the line, we're hitting straight through too, and linear. So linear and circular, whether a hula hoop or a line, linear, both are good. And I think you have to kind of find out what works for you best. Okay, you don't want too big of a swing. I'm using an old racket right now, old Dunlop. Okay, Max Supply. If you remember those rackets back in the 70s that were used so often. And so now I'm going to do left-handed and go the other way. I set one up on the other side of the room, so now I can practice this way. And so it's a great way. So all it is a spring on there, and then I just connect the ball to it. Okay, and I like to use those red dot. They call them red dot balls, or the red balls, and so I like using those and put them on the spring, and they attach very nice, and so I can practice up if I want, or I can practice through the ball, and so it's a great way to practice. And then if I can want to, I can go in the middle, and then I can practice volleys this way. Okay, I sometimes I can put some up here. I have the same thing, and maybe have four. I can hit four of them, but here I can practice here, ready position, and then I go out to the next one. It's a great way of practicing, and so. Backhand, okay, now I turn around forehand. The idea is I want to turn first, then go forward, okay. I'm ready position, I turn, and then I go forward. Ready position, I turn, and then I go forward. And I'm trying to keep my elbow up more, okay. And so you get a lot of people that hit the ball high, so you're going to have to learn how to hit the ball on the top shelf up here, high on the top shelf, and go across like this, okay, or a middle shelf, or a low shelf, and the low shelf you're going to be lifting a little bit more, and so the upward motion creates more spin. And so I'm practicing here in the middle, and I'm just going to practice volleys now. I can practice volleys, okay, or I can practice left-handed here, turn around right-handed. It's a great way of practicing. Good ready position. I turn my shoulders, backhand, turn my shoulders, forehand, or I can practice left-handed and turn my shoulders, left-handed, turn my shoulders, backhand over here. It's great to practice ambidextrous, or you can just practice like this. I'm just practicing, like sometimes the ball comes at you, and you can just practice this way, okay? It's a great way. Wheels are great. I like a hula hoop, so also a hula hoop can practice, going up, getting the idea of topspin, upward motion, upward motion. I can go 1 o'clock here, point to 1 o'clock, maybe 2 o'clock if I want to. I can go 3 o'clock, okay? Even maybe lower, 3 o'clock, so I can move it around, okay? So I want to go here to 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, or 3 o'clock, and it's a great way of practicing, just to get the idea of the motion. I encourage people using the service grip, cheat over to the backhand even further. Go this way. Like when you're riding a bike, your knuckles are up, or you grab a net, your knuckles are up. When you have your racket like this, perpendicular, you put it up here and your knuckles are up, so you get that strength. Too many young people are just, it's too weak. There's no leverage. And so whether you use one hand or two hands, you're going to have to learn how to use that leverage to your advantage. And so when I'm thinking about teaching, I always tell them to hit left hand forehands. Then I'm going to have them hit a two-handed backhand. okay, then a one-handed back, and I do those drills that they get used to using all three. So left hand forehand, choking up a little bit, put the hand right in and for two hand, and then a one-handed backhand. And I'll do it on the other side too. So I'll tell them, okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to do a one-handed backhand, a two-handed backhand, and now I want you to do a right-handed forehand. So I can do both sides so they get used to it. And so there's different ways of teaching. I guess you want to capture them, build up their strength. Too many people are saying, oh, too small, and they start with two hands, and the kids never learn how to bend their knees. They're using all arm, or they're serving. It seems like they're using the wrong grip all the time. And so it's important that we have right grips when we begin, and we practice. And so it's just a great way of practicing. I know I said much, and I've been all over the place, but here you can see the ideas that I have. Okay, well, here's a good idea. I can practice sideways like this, and I'm practicing the flashlight concept that Nick Bollettieri and Kevin Daughtry talked about. Okay, they talked a lot about the flashlight. Okay, and so I'm more sideways. Okay, I can also, when I hit sideways more, I can also practice open more, and so it's a great way of practicing. So I hope this is helpful. Just give you ideas how to practice at home.